check these cameras.
Double in. Red dot, red dot.
Red dot, red dot.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, hello. What time is it in Argentina?
It is 9:35.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, thanks for talking to us so late.
I mean, it's not that late for you guys. It's like not even dinner. Have you
Yeah,
ate dinner
right.
yet?
No.
I guess that's true. I'd be ready for bed.
Yeah, we get in bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Easy.
Have you eaten?
Not yet. We're
Not
going to
yet.
eat dinner after this. What are we eating? We didn't decide.
I don't know. I just started with chocolate, my own little Reese's peanut butter cup I made, and went from there. So bought myself some time.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's for dinner for you?
I think some fish and rice that my mom is making right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sounds good. Classic.
nice.
We have
Well,
that almost every night.
You do fish and rice almost every night?
Yeah.
Nice.
just in the summer or kind of all year long?
Like most of the time. Yeah.
Nice.
Do all their meals, but like mostly rice and fish. That's it.
Hey,
That's how
if
we
it ain't
healthy.
broke,
That's how you get that
don't
glow.
fix it. Yeah, that was fatty omega 3s, omega 6s
Yes.
right there.
All right, well, let's talk about your album. Let's start there. First, people need to go to Spotify. Maia Kalwill, MaiaKalwill. The album is called Stop the Clock. Check it out. We love it. I mean, we
Like-
love you,
Floored by this album.
but we love the album as fans and as friends.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel having it out? Like, how are you doing?
It's like, it's strange, honestly. One day you wake up and like the world is yours. And then the next day the world doesn't pay any attention and you gotta like make yourself a little space in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, dealing with like industry people, I realized how careless they are. Like, they really don't care. So every day is kind of like fighting with this non-interest guys to make them interest.
Yeah, you kind of have to like advocate for yourself.
Exactly.
You got to like fight for yourself, fight for your right to party.
Which is a hard space to be in. I feel like you never want to be in a position where you're trying to convince anyone in this world that you're valuable, you know, or that you're talented,
Yeah.
and you obviously are all of those things. So it is tricky, but yeah, you're right. It's like this is their job, you know, they meet talented people all the time, and how do you kind of find a way to get them to care as much about your project as you care about it, you know? It's a tall order.
You see the numbers, like,
Right. But that's the
That's
thing
right.
too, like no one's going to care as much as you. Like you kind of like
course.
it's you can't ask people to care more than you care. So you got to care like that much and then expect people to care that much. But if you only care this much, they'll come in under you, you know? So like you got to I'm bad at this. I'm like I wish I would take my own advice. It's really it's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of like belief in yourself because like whatever you're at, no one's going to quite hit it. How could they? You know, how could someone care as much as you? This is your whole soul is in this.
of course. Yeah.
So I feel like when
But
we
I'm really happy for it. I'm
good.
happy that it came out and that people have the opportunity to listen to it
Yeah.
as real as they are.
I mean, people are listening. I was peeking at your numbers the other day, and I mean, it's just incredible that people are finding your music. I mean, even just knowing like one person is listening to your music is kind of a surreal feeling. So I'm sure it's got to be kind of wild to be like seeing all of your hard work kind of paying off. That's exciting. And it feels weird to say we're proud of you because it's like, who are we to be proud of you, you know? But like, I feel so proud of you. Like, this is such a cool record. It's so great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was how long did it take to make it? Like and was it mostly just you and Dante in the studio? Like how was the process of it? Like were you coming with demos? Were you just making songs up in the studio? Like how did it all come together? I legitimately don't know.
The first song I recorded for The album was 3 years ago, and it was the first song in the album, which is called "I'm a Liar." And we were jamming with my dad in the studio. I think I had like little time in between classes, and I like, instead of staying at school, I went to the studio for a little while, and then we made this like 30-minute jam, which is now the intro of that song.
Mm.
And it just sounded like an intro for something bigger. And I thought to myself, I need to like keep doing what it needs to, glue all the parts that I've been doing together. Because I like, before we used to do little jams about like 1 minute or maybe 12 minutes. And it was all of like this stuff that wasn't a part of anything yet. And I started to work on it. And in 2022, I started to work with Dante, and I was in high school. So after classes, I went to the studio and we stayed up all night. And then I went to classes back again in the morning, and without any sleep. And that was the best part, because we made all of like most of the songs there, just like sitting in the studio at night and jamming. Maybe the mission was to work on the song we did like last week, and we ended up always like jamming something new. So we worked a little, and then we made another song. And we made so many songs. Like the ones we kept were little in compared with how many we made.
And the ones that didn't make the album, are they like still, maybe they'll get worked on and put on another project, or are you kind of like, those are dead and I'm just going to move?
There are a few that I'm like, I miss.
Nice.
But they didn't fit like quite the concept. And now I can reinvent myself to make them fit.
That's cool. Is there some kind of you were talking about releasing it, and like we give these grand expectations of a release. Like, I know I do. It's like, oh, okay, like this is about to blow up. Like, here come the Grammys, here I come, and you put something out, and it's like, it's out and you're so happy, but like, the full feeling is hard to realize, and I think that's kind of an important part of the process, like just to keep pushing, keep fighting. But is there some kind of relief? At least for me, like putting something out is like a weight off of me. It's like, I feel like I can create new music now. Like if I didn't release this, like I would still be holding on to that. It's like a little box or something.
Yeah. It feels like it, but also now it's out. I feel like I still want to make music every day. And like, if it was up to me, I will go every day to the studio and just make new music and let other people take care of the album promoting thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't have that someone, and it is like a new backpack to me. I released one, which was like in my mind, and now I gotta like work on it. So it's a relief, but also a new responsibility.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Children.
Right. It's a child.
They have the weight on you, but now you gotta take care of it.
That's a very good analogy. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. You have to feed it, and, take it to school.
Yeah.
I feel like, speaking to releasing a project and kind of thinking that it's like feeling how monumental that is, and then kind of waiting for what follows. I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's important to kind of really think about what it is that would make you feel successful. Like what is it? Is it a Grammy, or is it like, knowing that your music was listened to on every continent, and like you just have to kind of, I feel like, get creative too about what it means to you to be successful. Otherwise, I think it can be discouraging, because can be a rough place out there. And like, I don't know, wins, all of them, big and small, should be celebrated to like keep you energized, and I feel like it's easy to just sort of get discouraged or something if it's not instantly getting the reaction you feel it deserves or you hope it would get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be like the best case scenario for you in your musical career? I know you're budding artist. Going on
a
tour.
big tour and playing arenas. That's what I do.
Nice. Are you doing live shows now?
I'm still rehearsing and like planning the shows. Since the album came out, there were a lot of like opportunities of making shows, but we haven't played yet. Maybe like we present the album next month.
Cool.
And then started playing in other places.
Amazing.
Talk to us about Lollapalooza. You got to perform at Lollapalooza in Argentina.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I was there for the 2 days. The first day I worked as a makeup artist, which was like I was getting to know the place and how things worked and how I don't need to be stressed. Because you see stressed people all the time. Like everyone's having an attack. But honestly, I loved it. It was like Lollapalooza kind of has these flaws. It's not that well organized sometimes, but it's something so big. Like you're in the little cart going behind all the big stages and see all the people. Like you feel like you're being a part of something really big, and that's mind-blowing, at least for me. And then backstage you could do massage. That was my favorite thing.
Oh, for free. You get a free massage.
You got a free massage.
Woo.
There we go.
Like different Thai massage, in the chair,
Wow.
in the bed. Yeah.
More
Awesome.
more places should have free massages as a selling point.
They should.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
The who are you doing makeup for? Like, whose makeup were you doing?
There's a band that's called Pacifica. They're also my best friends, and I do makeup for them. Like we didn't meet like that, but once they realized I was a makeup artist, they hired me.
Nice. I love how you said it. You were talking to the audience there, you know, our friends in this band, Pacifica. Like, we know Pacifica, you know, like, that's cool. So were they nervous? They were nervous.
They were nervous.
Because they had to, I mean, it's okay to be nervous. Their set is amazing. I've watched it on YouTube actually a few times.
We loved that they actually came out in their horse costume.
Yeah.
That was so
fun.
That was so funny. I remember just when we were in Argentina sitting around, or no, Uruguay, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sitting around the lunch table talking about how they should make a grand entrance, and you suggested that. I wasn't taking it seriously, but
I mean, it was a real suggestion.
They liked it,
but I didn't
and they
expect
made it
them
happen.
to go all the way through it and do it. And I was like, when I saw the video, I was like, no way.
Yeah, we were laughing about that. That's so great.
Yeah.
The costume making was like so hard.
To make the horse.
Weeks, they were getting all these try-ons and buying the fabric. They did it all by themselves and with Martu's mom. So that was fun to watch him make the costume.
Yeah.
Unreal. And their set was really good. Like they're playing on one of the bigger stages, like middle of the day, or what stage was that they were on?
Same time as me, but like
cool.
The day before. It was one of the big stages, but like one of the first early times.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
But me too.
Yeah. So then you were singing backups for Luca Bocci?
Yeah.
So how'd that go? How was that for you, being on that stage?
That was so fun. I got on stage actually, and my in-ears weren't working at all. So I like kept doing this sign to the monitorist, and I like only heard the other backup singer louder and louder. Like, and I didn't have any of my voice for like half of the show, and then we got a little break and we solved it. But like for half of the show, I didn't hear myself at all.
Oh no.
But what I rescued from that is that I still had a really good time. Like, danced and just enjoyed it. It was really cool. I like the exercise of like letting things go. You know, if I don't hear myself, maybe I'll sing shitty, but maybe I'll dance and
Yeah.
go for it.
That's good. Yeah, you handled it well.
Yeah,
like a pro.
It's an epic reaction. I mean, that's all you can do. There's always something that's going to go wrong, but I feel like that shows that you have the temperament to be up there, because the thought of that makes me want to kind of throw up a little bit. Like, I would hate that, but you're just like, I'll just dance, I'll sing, I got this. That's a good sign that like you're where you want to be.
I developed that with time.
Yeah.
I think that happened to me before. I would have freaked out a little bit more. But then again, like, people are seeing you, so you need to act like everything is
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
And if you act a lot, maybe you'll believe it. And that's what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's
So
great.
I
funny.
believe
too.
that I was actually having a good time.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it, they say.
Yeah.
Well, and like in a show, no one wants to watch someone be insecure or be
No.
upset. Like, all they really want to watch from the audience is like watch people have a good time on stage. Like, if you're having fun, the audience is having fun. That's like, even if you're off key, you're better off being off key but having a good time than you are like singing perfectly but looking uncomfortable, you know?
I agree.
Yeah. It's funny too, just like the things you get used to, you know, like here you are, you're like, yeah, my album's out. It's not doing as well as I hoped. But like, I did sing on a stage at Lollapalooza, and, you know, I did put out this album, and like people are listening to it. Like, it's like, and in probably 5 years, you'll be like, yeah, I headlined Lollapalooza, and like, we have only 1 million plays on this new song. And it's like, I was hoping for 10. Like, it's the things you get used to that I think is kind of like the measure of the things you go like, yeah, you know, is like a good way to measure sort of your success.
I do not want to take things for granted, though.
Of course.
But I'm always wanting a little more.
Same.
Everything.
Yeah. Like, I think that doesn't go away, you know?
Yeah.
But I do the same thing. Like, I'm like, yeah, I did that and I did that. And then sometimes people go like, oh, wow, that's actually pretty cool. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe. Or like you 5 years ago, if you talked to that person, you said, oh, yeah, you did Lollapalooza, they'd be like, what? Like, what?
Yeah, that's true. Never
Like,
thought of that.
there was a time where that's all you wanted, you know, like that was all you really were asking for. And so
It's true.
as soon as you
Yeah.
have it, you always ask for more. And that's just how it is, you know, like this feeling is just very normal for the humans.
Yeah,
So
it's a hard industry to be in because it relies on external validation and numbers, you know, metrics and stuff. And I feel like that can be problematic for a sensitive artist type, you know? There's like, how can you quantify how much you mean? How much, like, if you make somebody's favorite song in the world, like, that means so much, like more than any amount of streams could ever mean. If one person like needed your song and found it, you know, like, it's just, there's a lot of ways to, I think, reframe it so it doesn't feel like it's just based off of the bottom line and like the numbers alone, because obviously music is way more than that.
So wise, my wife.
Sometimes.
It's
So-
still going very good, and I'm gonna keep working on it. I know that it's gonna be better, and it's just gonna have more repercussions. But I honestly didn't start it like the campaign because it had a little errors when it came out. Like, it was on another profile, and that happened to me twice. With the first single, it was on a wrong, like, made up profile that didn't even have like a picture. And then when the album came out, it came out on the actual profile, but I kept the other one, so it was messy.
Is
it's
all
still
the
it.
is
I'm working on it.
okay.
Yeah, it's so funny. We had similar problems. Like when we first put out Argentina, I was like so excited, like yes, yes. But then like one of the songs just had like a minute of silence in the middle of it, and so I felt like I don't really want to put all the promotion into it yet. And you're kind of stuck in this like, do I wait? Do I go? Like, what's lost by just doing it? What's lost by waiting? It's a really tough thing. And like, yeah, we just want to make music, like we did sign up for all this. It's a lot.
Well, isn't there also like the awkward issue of like if you release a single, then it exists separate than when like you're making a new track when you release the album as well?
No, it gets kind of swallowed up into the album.
Does it?
When you release the album.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I don't know. That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, they got that sorted out pretty good. But man, I was just thinking, like, as I was talking about, like, wow, just, the things we get used to. Like, we were in Uruguay hanging out like 2 months ago. Like a year ago, we were all in Italy together. Like, shit.
Yeah,
What's your favorite memories from Italy?
Anytime we were with Fabio. It's so great.
What a sweet man.
And when you got on the cold water
Oh,
river,
yeah.
that sticks with me.
You liked me, JC, and John suffering in the cold water. That's one of your favorite memories.
I would have been there with you, dry laughing as well. I wish I had to miss it.
Like Cinque Terre place.
Yeah,
that was awesome too.
So
that
beautiful.
Was so pretty.
It was fun. Like the whole place was kind of shut down because we were there in the winter. So like it was like hard to like find a bar. And then we found that little bar, like popped in. I loved all the like popping in. Let's pop in here for like some wine or something. Like I really enjoyed all that too. And Fabio, for people listening, was like we were staying with a woman named Maia, shout out, and her neighbor was a local guy named Fabio who grew up in this town we were staying at, and like he was just the most beautiful, sweetest guy you could ever meet. Indescribable.
You should have him on the podcast.
We should get Fabio on the podcast.
But also, I feel like his personality is sort of summed up in the music video from Italy. His dance moves reveal a lot of his charisma.
I guess. I don't know. I mean,
he's so sweet when he comes in all happy and jolly, and he's got some good moves.
So if you go to the When You're Around music video by That Kid Is You, you'll see Fabio dancing at the end, and it's
quite
it'll
charming.
give you a little piece of really who he was. What about the snow for you? You saw snow for the first time.
True. Everything was like, I liked everything. I have a lot of great memories with me. But the snow was weird. It was something that I imagined different.
Huh. What did you imagine, and what was the difference?
Dirtier, maybe. Like
you thought it would be dirtier?
Yeah, because we were on the Tuscany, but when it snowed here in Buenos Aires, the last time it snowed, I was 2 years. So I did see snow before. I didn't play with it. But every like memory of someone talking about snow was of how like you didn't like get on the floor and did angels because it is in the city. So I was expecting to just see it, not dive in it.
Whoa.
Amazing. And I dive in it.
Yeah, that was pristine snow. That was great. It does not look that clean and fresh in the city very long.
Well, city snow, yeah. City snow is like gray. Yeah.
Another fun fact, don't eat the yellow snow. It never comes out yellow. So
if it's yellow,
just leave it there.
Okay.
But yeah, what did it feel the way you expected it to feel? Like how soft it was or wasn't, or I threw a snowball in your face.
Yeah. I didn't have in mind that I would get all wet.
Yeah.
That was kind of surprising.
Once the snow melts. Yeah.
Like you're cold as fuck, and then you're wet and cold as fuck.
That is why I have run from the snow my whole adult life right there.
Yeah.
No, it is beautiful though. It's nice to watch from like the comfort of a cozy home when you don't have to go anywhere and you can just watch it fall. It's very nice in the right place, the right time.
You got right out there though. You, the two of you, like were like, where are they? You're over here like rolling down a hill, just like woo, like little kids.
That was really beautiful, and nobody was out there. It was just like empty fields of snow begging for you to run through it. You know.
It was amazing. Yeah, yeah, and just to like we woke up, we got in the car, like no snow, and it's like let's drive up to the mountain, and we're just driving a half hour in the car, and suddenly. It's this winter wonderland. Like every branch has a little bit of snow on it. It was just perfect. It was so nice.
I got such a kick out of talking to that older man, Enzo, at the ski lodge.
Oh, yeah.
He was so charming, like 80 years old, up there skiing, that he's like, yeah, I come ski every weekend, and talking to us about how he lifts weights all the time and like telling us his stats about his workouts. I'm like, this is it. You are just so, I don't know. It was just, I don't know how to describe it. He just felt like he was kind of thirsty for life. I appreciated that. It's like not the quality I feel like most 80-year-olds possess.
Yeah.
You know?
He was
like I feel,
still young.
Yeah, he was still so young in heart. And I feel like a lot of times people at that age are tired and, just kind of keep to themselves. But he was like a go-getter, really out there.
Yeah. I remember when the car was stuck in the snow and there were a bunch of guys just saying, piano, piano, piano. Again and again.
Well, yeah, I was driving. So we go to this ski lodge and we park the cars and we go inside. We drink our chocolate milk or whatever. And we meet Enzo and then get back in the car. It snowed more. So I'm backing out. And I have to go uphill a little bit. And the wheels are just spinning. So all these real men rush out of a bar and they start like pushing the car. And yeah, I'm driving. They're just like, piano, piano, piano. And I'm like, fucking what piano? Like, and it's like piano, piano. But piano means like what? Slow or fast or what? What did it mean?
Piano means slow.
Slow. Yeah. So they wanted me to just slowly. I was pushing too fast. But it's just like piano, piano, piano. I'm like... Yeah. Guitar, saxophone.
Also, we were drinking hot chocolate, not chocolate milk.
Okay, hot chocolate milk.
Thank you. Let the record reflect.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
That's so funny, though. That was a good little trip up the mountain. Speaking of music, that we made so much music there.
We did.
Yeah, I'm excited for all of that to come together.
Yeah, I think we're coming to Argentina like around September to.
But I'm not gonna be there.
Oh, what?
Nah.
Okay. I was gonna say we'll have to reschedule. Yeah.
This is news to me. Going to September.
Well, we talked about it in Uruguay. We were saying like, maybe end of August, early September. You were part of that conversation.
I forgot it.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Like, just go do like a vocal session. Like, come with verses ready to record. Like things written. Do that, and obviously then we're in the studio too. If someone's like, let's put a different bass on that song or new drums or whatever, we're able to do it.
How are you even going to get ready for that? There were like 90 songs.
Well, we've boiled it down to like 12.
No way. It got down to 12?
Boiled it down to 12. Like these are gotta be on it. The album is not the album without these 12. And now since then, there's been a few that's like, oh, fuck, that one too. So maybe it's like 17. It'll grow a little bit.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That's impressive from 90.
The first album is 17 songs, though,
That's so cool.
And maybe it'll be more. I don't know. But we've got it boiled down pretty good to like the essential, like it would be a crime to not have these songs.
I feel like there's this interesting thing that happens when you make music where it's like, to you, the songs become old news really quick. You're like, oh, that's old news. That's old. I want to make something new. And I know we've talked a little bit about that it can be hard to like circle back to those older tracks and like really see them through. And do you experience that? Like, are you feeling, I don't know.
Every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always want to work on the newest ones.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah.
I,
Eventually like maybe like even with songs when you hear them, if they're not your songs, you gotta like maybe you listen to them for a week and get obsessed, and then you need to give them a little rest to enjoy them again.
so true.
Do that all the time with albums and songs. So maybe like if you have time and do that with your music, it gives you a better relationship with what you're doing, and you're more excited to work on it.
I like that.
Yeah, that definitely happened with me in these Italy songs because we were there in Italy for like 2 weeks, and then I came home to LA. I worked on the songs like every night because 3 weeks later we went to Argentina, and I wanted to like do as much as I could before I handed them over to Nico. So by the time I got to Argentina, I was like sick of these songs. I like hated, I resented them, you know? Like, and so now enough time has passed, like
You can go back.
I'm falling in love again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always like, what's your favorite song you've ever made? It's like the most recent one. The one I made last night is currently my favorite. You know, it's like, that's kind of always the truth, unless you just had like a bunk night and nothing was working, you know?
Do you have a favorite song that you've ever written?
Ooh.
I mean, when you said that, Tres Patitos came to my brain. I think that's the song I'm like most proud of. I don't know why. It's got I don't know. Yeah, but I like that. That's what popped in when you asked me that question.
Nice.
But I have a lot of like unreleased songs that I could probably pull up that I'd be like, oh no, actually I like this one better. But what are you listening to right now? What's got your ear?
I've listened to all the new stuff that came out recently and didn't like any. Like Ariana's new album, Beyonce's. What else? Well, I did listen a lot of Vultures. I liked a few songs, but I'm not as hooked as when the other albums came out.
Vultures is the new Kanye West.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, that's okay. You know, we on our last episode, and I just put out the clip today. We were arguing because we listened to the Beyonce album on a road trip, like the whole thing, and I was just like, "This is trash." Like I was just talking shit. I didn't like it, but Christine really liked it. But anyway, I dropped a clip today of like us saying that. It's been a bit polarizing clip, but
I did like very much her last album, not this one. What's it called?
the
Renaissance.
Renaissance, yeah.
That was great. That's the only Beyonce album that I could hear like from top to bottom and know all the lyrics and dance.
I have to listen to that one again. When I first heard it, I didn't like it, but I haven't given it the second listen.
Well, we have realized is that Paul just doesn't really like Beyonce's voice. So it makes
partially.
liking her music challenging.
I think partially, and I was coming to that conclusion while I was listening to her newest album, because like when Miley Cyrus sang and when Post Malone sang, I liked it. Like I was like, oh, this isn't so bad, but I also didn't like the production on the album. I didn't like it. Didn't really. I listened to some more of it today to like check back in. After posting that clip, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of funny if I then just completely changed my mind. Maybe I love it, you know, but no, I still don't like it. And so everyone's like talking about this, you know, when she performed at the CMAs, like with the Dixie Chicks, everybody was like not respecting her, not like. I watched that clip today. The crowd is standing the entire time. They're clapping, like they're cheering.
The crowd and the production are two very different things.
Huh?
Like promoters and the crew are different. I feel like she didn't have a bad experience with the crowd, is my understanding.
What did she have a bad experience with?
Like the organization and like the promoters and the people that actually put on the CMAs.
Oh, well, so what did happen, everyone in the audience like seemed to enjoy it. What good enough. But afterwards, like they got a bunch of hateful tweets and messages, racist tweets and messages, and then the CMAs took down her video in response to that. And then it's like, what the fuck? Like, racists get to control what you're putting out, and then they put it back up, which is fucked up. But I thought it was like, oh, at this award show when she sang, everyone was like, ignored her, like didn't even look at her, like to be rude. No, that was just my assumption.
Like the industry basically were like, you're not welcome here.
But the singers and stuff, people were like, that was cool that Beyonce sang.
Right, but then they removed her video, like you said.
So the CMAs was the issue.
Yeah, and the fan base that was not willing to accept that the genre is bigger than their limitations of it. Yeah. Which is, I don't know, you know. I don't know. It's cool to see genres expand and contract sometimes, and like she's definitely pushing the limits, and I respect that. I'm not like, you know, so team Beyonce here, but I do think that it was a great album.
There you go. Yeah, and like for the record, I like that it's pushing it, that it's making racist country music fans uncomfortable. Yeah. Like fuck those assholes, and like that's all good. Yeah, but to me, but the music, it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of that's fair enough. You know, you don't have to like everything.
There we go. All right. What's the new Ariana Grande? Oh, yeah, let's just argue about, let's ignore Maia for 5 minutes. So argue about Beyonce. What, Ariana Grande released a new album?
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Has she done that recently? Like a new album? Is this like, has it been a while since she released music or no?
Not that long.
Her last album maybe came out on 2021.
Oh, okay.
Positions.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, yeah, she worked on this new album for about 3 years, but you cannot hear that. It sounds to me like kind of like a recycle for all music. I do like her, and I like that last album too. Same with Beyonce, but this one just like it brings back all things that aren't that all to be cool. It's happening the same with fashion too. Like 2010s, maybe don't bring that up now.
It's too soon. Too soon. Yeah, the 90s are only acceptable now. Like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So, what's the last album? What's the last album that you were like, wow, now that's an album. That's what I wanted.
That came out, or that I heard, and then like it came out, maybe probably Billy's.
Cool. That last Billie Eilish album.
After that, Arctic Monkeys released an album. I love that too. Who else?
But is there one? So was there one that like wasn't released recently, but you found out about it recently and it really impressed you?
I've been hearing a lot of The Voids.
I don't know The Voids.
Me either.
It's Julian Casablanca's B project.
Okay, yeah. Some when I was in Buenos Aires, actually, some kid was telling me I gotta hear that. Buenos Aires loves Julian Casablancas. Like I've never seen a city love the Strokes so much. Like Strokes and Julian Casablancas is like I feel like bigger in Buenos Aires than they are in New York. Like they're big.
It might be, yeah. They're really big. All of like this rock bands I really loved in Argentina. And what I like about it is that these rock bands and even like pop stars, they know it. They know that Argentina is the place to go and play. This I always see these interviews of famous guitarists, and they say that people in the crowd actually sing the parts of the guitar and the solos, like whoa, you know. I like that about my country. That's one of the things I like about my country.
So is Argentina the only country that's known for doing that, to like sing along with the solos and the guitar parts and everything?
I mean, maybe the algorithm knows I'm Argentinian and only shows me.
No, but I've heard the same. I've seen some of the clips too. I've heard like the Red Hot Chili Peppers being like, Argentina, like you can't beat the crowd in Argentina. So like, why? Why do you think that is?
This is a very like passionate country in every aspect. Like politic wise, people always get super passionate. Like most of the people are passionate about who they'll vote for, or maybe they didn't even vote for him, all presidents. But and football also, it's a big passion thing. What else? Yeah, people are just passionate here.
Yeah, I guess the like football crowds. Are the football crowds in Argentina known for being extra crazy? More than other countries?
Yeah. I will say they are the craziest crowd in the world.
So you guys are just nuts. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you fit in so well down there.
Yeah, I guess so. But I feel like I'm sometimes not very passionate. Do you think I'm a passionate person, Maya?
About like little things. Or, like,
I don't know. I just feel like I don't really get like worked up and excited about stuff, even stuff I love.
Yeah, maybe not.
You
No,
know?
I wouldn't say that you are passionate. Maybe I wouldn't say that you're not. But
It's interesting. Well, anyway, but yeah, in Argentina, like at least in Buenos Aires, the rival fans aren't even welcomed in the stadium because it's too risky. Like in the stadium is only local fans allowed.
that's recent.
That's recent because of.
It wasn't always like that. I don't remember when that was changed, but it wasn't like maybe at most 10 years. But before that, it used to be normal because people always got very violent and there were incidents all the time. Like, for example, the like fans going into the field and attacking the other players, stuff like that in between, like guns, not cool shit. So
Not cool shit.
But what I like and what it's amazing to me is that the stadiums stayed with the same amount of seats, and even like they even expand them, and they still fill them and sold them out every match. Like,
wow,
that's crazy, because before you used to have like half and half, so it is obviously more people, but now like the business is still going great, and every year it gets bigger.
Yeah, and less people are getting shot. That's good.
Safer, and still working out. Wow. Yeah, and what a time to be alive with the World Cup victory. Like, did that feel historic for you? Do you feel like you're too young to really understand the weight of that, or do you feel like how did that feel for you?
At the time, it felt great. I was actually in my end of school trip, and we were on the beach, and we got to see the match on like this big screen in the middle of a little town we were staying at, and it was exciting. But then, if I look at it like as an historic fact, it is. I recognize it. But then for me, I don't remember other countries for its winning events,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember who won the last World Cup or the last. So are people going to remember for it? But then I really feel like this was an iconic match. No doubt. One of the best match I've seen in my life. It was like a movie.
Yeah.
At least that's how it felt to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day it will be.
Yeah, I bet
Relive
it
the
would
glory.
be one day, maybe. But yeah, that's a good point. Like, who remembers much of the years before? I mean, France won the year before. I do know that. But yeah, that's a good point. But I think with Messi and all that, like, it was like, oh shit, this is like we're seeing the best of soccer happening. But yeah, that's a good point. I wonder, I guess maybe history will kind of forget, or it won't be front of mind so much.
We were
I
kicking.
mean, Argentina has always been iconic for its football players and its quality. And this obviously boosts that up. But
It's
it will
true.
still be as iconic as it was before.
Yeah, I bet Messi will be more iconic than like this year. Like Maradona is like
Yeah.
more iconic than when he won the World Cup and like that match or that team. So
Yeah.
Messi for sure will be like Kobe status forever.
Yeah.
But
It's the figures of
yeah, it's true.
the characters of the selection.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
We were just kicking ourselves the other day because we had a chance to see Messi and we didn't take it, and now we might not get that chance again.
Messi and the Argentina national team is playing Costa Rica in LA. And we were like, let's save our money. Let's not go. It was really expensive tickets.
How
And
much was it?
I don't know. I mean, hundreds of dollars for each
It
ticket.
was like almost $200 for a ticket, but
So-
like in a bad seat.
Right,
you
in
know,
a bad
like a terrible seat.
You go, you get a hot dog, you get a beer. Like it was going to be like $500 or plus or something for the day.
Next time you come here, you can see a cheaper, maybe even free
There we go. That sounds good.
in Argentina. 'Cause we got a friend that works on a tourist company for bringing people to see River Plate matches, which is my team or my dad's team. And we went a couple of times and never paid because he gets some seats.
Well, we
so
got the
maybe next
hookup.
time.
I like that.
Whoa. Cool.
So what else do you love about living in Argentina? Can you see yourself living anywhere else?
Yeah. I've always seen myself living in LA, actually. Since the first time I went here, I was 7 years old. I said, this is the place I'm going to be at least for a couple of years. But then now you are kind of talking me out of it. So
I mean, there's a lot of great things about living in LA, but it is also intense. Like there's a lot of things about it that are challenging too. But the
like
longer,
it in
yeah,
general.
I mean, the longer.
How are we talking you out of it?
Yeah,
you are going to move out.
Yeah, that's true. We do talk about moving
We have
a
a
lot.
reason.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I will also say that the longer I live in LA, the harder it is to imagine leaving. Like when I first got here, I did not like it at all. It took me a long time to be able to appreciate like what makes this place special and unique. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's harder to kind of like grab a hold of, but there's a lot of amazing kind of things about living here for sure.
I feel like when you say that, you like LA is having a lot of people in the street and times are difficult. You don't really know Argentina that much because we are having like a really rough time too. So I'm always thinking, how could it be worse? You know, this is a poorer country than the States, and stuff always been like really hard in most of the neighborhoods. But maybe you just visited the nice ones.
That's true. We certainly have rose-colored glasses on when we're traveling to a new country. You just kind
Yeah,
of
we're like,
see
this
the
is a
best of it.
perfect utopia. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, don't let us talk you out of
That was
coming
an
to
album
LA.
that I like to.
Utopia.
Yeah,
Travis
from
Scott?
Travis Scott.
Oh, yeah. I like Travis Scott a lot. But don't let us talk you out of coming to LA. You should come to LA. And it's awesome. And like, when I first moved here, at least, like, we didn't have shit. I made no money. I had no money. Like, we were like saving up cans to like turn into recycling to get like 5 cents a can, but like you make it work. There's plenty of people here that aren't rich and making it work. I mean, we're not rich.
And
but
I'm
at
always
least we have
confused at
jobs.
how that happens. I don't understand. But
Yeah.
somehow people still afford to live here, even though it seems impossible.
You figure it out. And while you're young is like the perfect time to do that because you just kind of, over time, you end up caring a lot more about like, I need to have like my own bed. I need my own room. I need, like,
Yeah.
you won't necessarily get that immediately moving here, but it is a cool spot. You should do it.
I am gonna do it.
Good.
Need the money.
Yeah. So speaking of your father, or let's talk about your father, because
Yeah.
I love your dad. And like when I first met you guys,
Same.
it feels like your dad was here. And now it feels like your dad has like grown his business, his like things are kind of, there's like more, I don't know. Am I correct in that? Like there's kind of like more buzz around your dad. Your dad is kind of doing better and better. Am I correct there? And like, what's been like watching your dad grow into kind of what he's doing?
He has always been growing. Like since I have memories of him, he's always going better and better. Like never, I don't remember any lows for him at work wise. But yeah, now he's like working on all of the sound system renting, and he's working with nice people. And yeah, he's doing great.
What are like lessons you've learned from your dad as you embark on your own career? Like what are things you watch your dad do that you kind of...
Honestly, the main thing is like to stay focused on what you want to do. He always encouraged me to work more and more and more and like rehearse and focus. But that's a splitting point right now. We were talking earlier about it, which is doing new music while you have to work on your old music, and he is kind of against that. Like, of course, he doesn't force me to not do it, but he insists and that I should be only working on promoting this new album, and that keeps me balanced because I'm still doing the other thing. but yeah, he always encouraged me to work more and more.
Nice.
But I like, and he gives me the tools too, and he works for me. So yeah, he's a really good worker.
Good hard worker.
I loved the post he made about sharing your album after it got released, and he just said that it was like his favorite album of all time. And I don't know, I lost it. It was so sweet. It's just awesome. I feel like, I guess as a parent, I can only imagine how cool it would be if your kid sort of follows in your path and actually is interested in the things you're interested in. And obviously you love music just like he does and like your mom does too. And it's got to be a really cool moment as a parent.
He always says that to me, that this is his favorite album, or at least one of his favorite albums. And though he's my father, and sometimes you cannot really separate the objectivity of things, I do believe it because most of my influences and the way I make music came from him. So it has to do, with his taste. So it makes sense that he likes it so much. Yeah.
I feel like, at least from what I've observed, he's always done a really good job of like creating and holding space for everybody around him to like experiment and try new things and find their voice and like make something happen. Like, I just feel like he's always such a good cheerleader and really can kind of like step back in time to let people make happy accidents and like see what happens, you know?
That's what makes a producer great, and also a dad. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he's very good at both.
Yeah, those skills work in both fields.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best, man. I love that guy.
Shut up.
Shout out to Nico. Well, cool. So with this, when you're making your new stuff, which you're not supposed to be doing, but when you're breaking the rules, you're working with Dante again. You're working alone. You're working with more people. What's the process?
This songs we've been making, we're only making them with Dante. Maybe I have like 7 already, and I honestly just want to hear them, and I don't want to hear the old album anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know I gotta work on that. And then I feel like I have the fear that knowing how to do things, because like my first album was so improvised. Like most of the things I didn't even thought of them while making them. Like structure, that wasn't even a word for me when I made the album, which was like something eventually we corrected in some songs that like didn't have a chorus, or like they didn't repeat any of the parts. But now I feel like maybe I overlearned all of these things, and I wish I could like get back to not knowing some things, because that was one of the things that was great about this album. So I miss that feeling, but also things are easier now. Like I just feel like I know how to do it, but I don't want to let that feeling make things simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just because you know the formula doesn't mean you have to follow it. So you can always break the rules you've learned, you know? You don't have to stick to them.
Of course. Yeah.
Which is
good. Yeah, when you're jamming in the piano and you don't even think of a structure, it's just like it's there. It's in your unconsciousness while making music. And then now I've learned it, I just jam and then go back to the chorus and, you know, normal stuff. But yeah, that's why I think we were talking about this with Dante the other day. He always likes the first albums of every artist better, which doesn't happen to me, and I'm not afraid this album is not going to be as great as my first one, but I still like got to think a lot, why does that happen? And that's a very common thing to happen, that the first albums are the best ones because of how fresh they are, and like it's impossible for them to sound reused of what you already made because you haven't made anything, and you can really hear that not knowing how to do things most of the times, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An aesthetic I will follow.
Yeah, it's like a balancing act, right? Because knowledge is good. Like you should never run away from knowledge. Like you should embrace more knowledge anywhere you can get it. If someone's going to teach you a skill for writing songs, maybe you're not going to use that skill on every song, but here's a skill you have, and maybe it's just in your subconscious, or like chord progressions or all these things. It's like, oh, like 2-5-1, I should do a 2-5-1 chord, but then it's like you can always change that. And I think true. And then also like you start, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like when you make that first album, there's nothing to, we're not basing this off of anything. This is just us. And then that second album, there is some thought of like, like that last album was so good. Like, is this as good? You're like already just kind of in a comparative mode, you know?
So because you're not gonna have that spontaneity.
Spontaneity. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. You need to do things better. Like the other things need to do better. The songwriting needs to be better. The production even needs to be better to like even it out or make it a better album, you know? Because yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I think I deal with the same like wrestle in my brain, but I think it's like making a better album shouldn't be the goal. It's just like making another album is the goal. Like have just as much fun and just make another album. And as long as it's honest about how you are you today, and you know, whoever's sitting there, whoever's singing, whichever version of you that is, as long as they're being honest, like you're good, you know, like, because you never want to be always chasing some older version of yourself anyway, you know, like you don't dress like you used to dress, you don't talk like you used to talk, your hair doesn't look the same as it did when you were, you know, younger. Like it just it changes, and you have to just ride the change. But I do go through the same thing of like, this next album needs to be like the best. Like Argentina was creative. This needs to be like so much more creative. So it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? You know, but like I have these thoughts too, you know, so I don't know.
That's the slippery slope you have to avoid. It's like panicking on stage. Like nobody wants to listen to music and think like, oh, they engineered the shit out of this song, or oh,
you're right.
I can't believe they came up with like this Coke can instrument. I mean, most people don't listen to music that way. You know, they're still vibing, you know, they're just trying to see how it feels and how it sounds. So it's all a trap. It's a trap.
It is a trap.
Yeah. But it's hard. It's always that, like, comparing is like one of those things that I feel like is kind of a lifetime work, you know, not to compare yourself to anyone else, not to compare yourself to your former self. Like, it's just easier said than done for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you should be shouting it to everybody because the album is really great. And I've really been enjoying re-listening over and over again. I always think it's cool that, you know, the songs that you love and fall in love with first, like you just kind of, I'll re-listen and then I'll be like, no, it's this one now, you know? It's just.
What's your current favorite?
I don't like You Dancing.
Nice.
It's currently my favorite at the moment. But like, I don't know. It's just, it's changed a lot. Each time I listen, I feel like I have kind of a new one that I can't stop thinking about, you know? So.
Nice.
For me, it's either Stop the Clock or I Quit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I Quit has that like.
That moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was whatever, like kind of, it sounds like Blur kind of all of a sudden. It's like so cool. It's like, that's one of those moments that's just, it's just there in that one song, that one time, and it feels so good every time.
like,
I love it.
I feel like I can hear some of the Billie Eilish influences too, but like not a lot. But every once in a while I'll be like, oh, there's like a little, you can like hear this influence, and I'm like, it's just so cool to know like all that's inspired you, and to see you kind of arrive here is awesome. So
yeah. Well, with Billy, what I feel like it's happened, because I hear them too, but we are two girls that sing, have kind of a similar age and same tastes.
mm-hmm.
And like we like to use them. So for example, the most alike Billie Eilish parts of my song, I actually thought of them like as an Kanye West inspired thing. And then because I'm a girl, they sound like Billie Eilish too, which is not a bad thing. I love her music, and she started like grabbing things of hip hop to like in nice voice. So I do that too. But I feel like it's mostly that we hear the same things, and I think we will be great together. She wanted to work with me and just like listen to this podcast once, and yeah.
There you go. She's not far from us here in LA.
Yeah.
I actually just saw today that they're putting out a new album in May. I'm so excited. And like no singles. They're not releasing any singles. They're just releasing it in full. Which
That's almost what I did.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we work the same.
Yeah,
Same
exactly.
pace, same wave. Same wave.
Yeah. I wonder how that goes. I mean, I guess what's the advantage of, I wonder what the pros and cons of each release strategy are.
Well, the single, you know, gets people focused on just one song versus having to listen to a bunch, so we can like really lean into it. We have this one singular thing we're promoting, build up some hype for the album. Plus, like if you're like a major label person, like that's your song you're sending out to the radio. So it's almost used like a trailer for a movie, you know?
So why did you pick Trust as the single?
Because I felt like it was the one that had kind of everything in the album of it. Like it had a little nostalgic and minimalistic, but also a rock part, and it just had, it was like a presentation card for me. I didn't hear like it was a radio single or a hit, but I wanted to introduce myself with a mix of everything the album meant for me. But then there are other songs that I want to cut later, that as time's things passing, I hear them more and more like singles and like more hits.
What do you mean you want to cut?
I want to like release a video or make them singles even though they already came out. Yeah, we say that in Spanish, like cut.
Yeah, like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs do that a lot. I feel like there's always remixes of their songs too, and then they'll turn like a lot of their songs, get like a club mix variety, you know, just kind of a new
I honestly
take.
love Billy's strategy because it brings back the releasing an album thing, which is kind of lost. I wanted to bring that back too because I've it's most normal to just like release an EP or maybe 3-4 songs, but I like work till I get an album because I like the concept of just like a movie, you know, just hearing a whole story. So I like that. And if she doesn't came up with a single, she already made that up with having everyone in her close friends list. Like the fame is already there.
Yeah. She doesn't need that. Yeah.
Followers she could get with releasing a single.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's really smart too to do no singles because like if you release the single, okay, I have some kind of expectation of this album. Maybe the album drops and some people are just going to go right to the single and like listen to that again or something. But if you just drop the album, like everyone's going to let's just start at song 1 and let's listen to this whole thing and see what's up, you know? And like you're able to like start us from song 1 and take us on kind of more of a journey versus if I heard the single already, like I'm already expecting this to go somewhere, you know? And like I already have a preconceived idea of it. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's her best launch yet. I can't wait.
Yeah, I hope it becomes a trend where fuck a single, just drop albums, you know?
Yeah.
It's cool.
I feel like too it's an interesting move because now everybody gets everything instantly all the time, you know? Everything's just now. Like the concept of making somebody wait is like really rare now. Like that's unheard of. Like you have to wait 3 months. Certainly gives some time to build the suspense.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Well, Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah,
Thank you for
Yeah.
inviting me.
absolutely.
Our pleasure.
And I was just gonna add, we were in Tucson last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and we played your album for everyone that was around us, and everybody was like saving it and like, oh, I can't wait to play this for my friends. Like everybody was like taking notes. So I feel like it's undeniable. It's really, really great.
It's so good. Yeah, it's really fun to show people because, like Hans would be like 3 songs in, and like it just takes one of those little turns, and he's like, oh, like it's cool.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
which is amazing because it wasn't like an active listening party. It was like background noise at that point in time, and so the fact that it could like pull you back in over conversation and like company and all that was cool. That he was,
Nice.
yeah. So swell job, good job. Swell.
Thank you.
yeah,
Who
good
says
job.
swell?
Well, all right. Well, we miss you always, and
too.
see you
Can't
in
wait for you
September or
to
some
be here.
around then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many songs from the Italy tracks is Maya on? Because you'll have new music coming out now, again,
With the
Yeah.
Italy songs.
with the Italy songs.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We have those 12 songs, and I think Maya's on about 12 of them. So, yeah, I mean, it's
Sweet.
it's a family affair. We're all over it.
So when will Maya officially become a part of That Kid Is You?
I mean, I feel like we just hold her back, I think, no, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to picture. I don't want to like set anything in stone, but it's hard to picture doing That Kid Is You album without you and your dad, like ever. It feels like that's kind of the sound. That's kind of it. Obviously, like it's me, it's JC, but like I feel like you guys are just as important to it.
Thank you.
Maybe someday we'll feel like doing one just me and JC, or Rick Rubin will want to work with us, and we'll say sorry, guys. But I mean, yeah, it's you guys are a big part of why it's cool. I think like the sound. Yeah, and you're a good test too, because it's like, does Maya like it? Because if Maya likes it, it is kind of cool. Like it's, you're like you're the cool,
Like the youth study.
the cool youth. Yeah, the
Yeah.
cool teenager.
Curator.
The what?
The curator.
The curator, exactly. Yeah. Like we're just old fucking dorks. So like just because we think it's cool doesn't mean much, But yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I do picture you guys as in the group. Like it's not just is what it is. I don't know.
Wow.
It's
Cool.
a family,
Yeah, it's a family business.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool what we've got going on here, huh? Like, just that we flew to Argentina like 5 years ago, and look at us now, hanging out in Uruguay, like
Familia.
going to Italy
Yeah.
together. Yeah, family. It's
Okay.
really special. I feel really lucky to have met all you guys.
Me too.
It's cool.
Well, yeah, cheers to making all sorts of music now, yesterday, today, tomorrow, all the music.
Man, think of the future. That's what I like when I hear your album. I'm like, wow, like, what's she gonna do in 10 years?
I know
Like,
we always joke we're all going to work for Maya.
yeah, like what the fuck? It's just exciting, like, and I feel the same way about us too. Like, shit, like we all keep getting better, like what are we gonna do in 10 years? Like what's not the next album, but like what's like 4 albums from now? Like what's that gonna even be? Like, oh my God, just the music we're all gonna make in this life and in our time on this planet is like really gets me excited.
Sounds
too.
like passion to me.
Woo!
Argentina.
Argentina, yeah. Okay, that was my passionate moment.
Now you got to go lay down.
Well, all right, enjoy your fish and rice.
Yeah. I hear my mom already picking up the fork.
Oh,
boy.
All right,
All right.
yes.
Perfect timing. Tell your mom we say hi, even though I've never met your mom, but I'd love to meet her someday. But
You will.
tell her
Next
we say
time.
hi. Yeah, next time. And yeah, thanks again for doing this. We're big fans. Everybody, stop the clock. Maia Kalwill. Check it out.
Everyone stop the clock.
Everybody just stop the clock.
Stop the clock.
Okay.
Here, stop the clock.
And then listen to Stop the Clock. Yeah. All right.
Love you, Maya.
Love you,
Thank
Maya.
you.
Thank you. Kisses.
Talk to you soon.
Besos. Ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.